Hello everybody, welcome to week 6 of the Pokemon Speedruns Draft League. This is a weekly recap. My name is Roush, and I am your primary analyst for this week. And I also have special guest.
Hello, I'm Lloyd, but I go by RXFADEZ.
Wow,
I'm
fantastic.
battling in this league, and the special guest this week.
And he's also the coach of the, this is for Garf, the Paris Saint-Germain. And yeah, go ahead, laugh at it now. I don't give a damn. So here we go, we're going to start with the overall standings. First place is still Garf. Second place is me, the Huntsville Heat Ran. Third place is the Jimbooban Jigglypuffs by Dolphin. Camden Corralganals are in fourth with Coach Geno at the helm. Broward Braylons in fifth, Coach Rowe. Paris Saint-Germain. RXFADEZ in sixth. The Blackpool Blastoise are in seventh by Coach Draws. Eighth is going to be the New England Braviary, and we actually had a coach turnover this week. Unfortunately, Mizzlesticks had to drop out, but his replacement coach is going to be Vern, or Vern. Pronunciation incoming. I'll figure it out by next week. The Bludgeoners, coached by Eternalore, are in 9th. 10th place is the Kentucky Fried Caradon with Sir Arendite. 11th place is the Wolverhampton Waddlers by Coach Amoeba. And as you notice, both Sir Arendite and Amoeba picked up wins this last week. We'll go over them in a little bit. 12th place is going to be Major R's, the Auckland Adaptability. Unfortunately, he's still continuing his losing streak. It has not been a fun season so far for him. 13th place is the Flavortown Flygons by Coach Shape. And a 14th place last is the Pacific Log Wailords by Coach Etiquette. Special things to note this week. Garchomp got a few kills for Major this week, so he moves up into the team MVP race. Kartana is on top for Coach Rowe. Tapu Koko still on top for the Braylons. Mega Scizor this week had an interesting match, and we'll go over that in a little bit. And yeah, of course, Lapras is still on top for Etiquette. So, what about the actual MVPs? Let's go ahead and move over to the actual MVP race. So here we go. Shut up. So here we have the MVP race. As you can see, Raikou moving from 4th into 2nd place, and Kartana bypassing both Mega Scizor and Heatran, and taking the lead spot overall by just a single score. So very close there. Also,
I think it does show a lot though, because you have Kartana of CDC and the Zygarde 50%. Both are the team carriers, kind of a two-trick team.
Yeah.
You have Raikou, who you brought in the past 4 weeks. He hasn't died yet. He's gotten kills, I think, every week as well. And, he's kind of carrying. And then my team as well, you see Scizor and Heatran up top. It's kind of a two-trick. When you get further down, you see, like, Garth, for instance, has 3 MVPs very close together.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Spread out the kills.
Within the top 9, there's only, like, 4 teams represented. 5 teams represented. Tapu Koko, note, has still died every single week. It's died every single week, and yet it's still 7th place based on the number of kills it has. But because of that, it doesn't have a lot of survivals, which is why Jolteon is higher in the rankings. Sorry, you wanted to say something?
I just think I think that might be reflective of what's to come, where because people will start bringing ground moves, obviously, to counter you and your Raikou, and ground moves to counter me and my Heatran, and fire moves to counter me and my Scizor because I'm a two-trick. I think that's explained. And
well,
people
the
will actually
problem.
Start looking into this.
All right. Let me bring this up. The problem with your team is because Heatran and Scizor make for a great combo, especially alongside Landers. Scizor and Lando have U-turn, so they can switch between each other. Lando is weak to ice, water, and I think that's it. Just ice and water.
That's all.
Your core is really only weak to water. So amongst all of them, they connect really stinking well. And we'll go over that when we go to the power rankings. We'll be able to take a more in-depth look this week. I changed the layout so that we should be able to see everything. But let's take a look at the moves for a little bit. Earthquake is taking off as by far and away the best move in the game. Say what you want about Stealth Rocks, but Earthquake is the best move in the game because literally everything gets it. It's strong, it's base 100, it has perfect accuracy, for the lack of a better word. Perfect accuracy. I cannot miss because Evasion Claws, Thunderbolt, and obviously Poison and Toxic also gaining in popularity.
Just to touch on Thunderbolt slightly, I think a lot of that's come with, of course, Garth bringing his Jolteon and you bringing your Raikou, and also because it's a nice counter to the water types, because people prepare for grass.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they think water, okay, I've got a water type, I'm going to bring, I don't know...
Thunderbolt is just a great coverage move overall, because it strikes the water types, the flying types. Flying! There's a reason why it's called Burb Span, guys. Flying is an awesome offensive typing, and defensive as well, because it is immune to that Earthquake. Cannot stress that enough. But, let's scroll down here a little bit. Let's take a look at the bottom half here. So you see, once we get a little bit lower, you see a whole lot more green. You see a lot of, even my pokes are starting to show up again. We get Hydreigon and Arcanine and Beedrill and Florges, all within the top 50. So I have a full team of Mons here in the top 50. But then we start seeing a couple more stallish Mons. We see stuff like Aggron, we see Umbreon, the KFC, the Kentucky Fried Crawdaunt, Slowbro. Then we get to see other fun Mons like Quillfish had an awesome week, and we'll get to it once we start into the matches. So then we start seeing, on the move side, we start seeing more niche moves. You see Sacred Fire, Acrobatics. U-Turn only has 2 kills, indicative of nobody's really U-turning.
I have
unless it's just for momentum. Let's scroll down a little bit more here, and
I think I saw Volt Switch actually higher than U-turn.
There we go. Finally,
there's Volt Switch, same as U-turn.
So the number 1 Z move so far is All Out Pummeling. It's gotten the most kills. Not many people are using Z moves to get kills, but I think. See, we had a Devastating Drake kill. We had a Shattered Psyche kill. We could have had 2, but one of them wasn't used because Baffling Amoeba brought Shattered Psyche on Volcarona this week, so we didn't get to see that get a kill, but we saw Shattered Psyche get another kill. And finally, as you can see, look at rank 64. Salamence was dropped. Unfortunate. Salamence is a good Mon. He's now out there for everyone to pick, but he just doesn't pick.
Yeah.
He doesn't fit my team, so I don't need him. All right.
I'm gonna note on him later when we get into the matches.
Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and actually work on those right now. We're gonna know right now. So we're gonna go ahead and get into the matches. The first one is gonna be Coach Skalvern. Welcome to the league. Skalvern versus Chackup and Row. So to set the stage, Azelf exploded turn 1. Salamence died from...
Again, just a quick note, I think, turn 1, it was Tapu Koko versus Azelf. I think in Skalvern's mind, he's thinking, I'm going to get rid of this Tapu Koko early with an explosion.
Yeah.
Have a correct prediction from Rao bringing the Bronzong, meant Bronzong tanked the hit, took less than 50%, and now Azelf's out of the game.
Yeah. So, I don't know exactly what that Bronzong was, but I almost want to say it was Heatproof this week. Heatproof Bronzong actually had a good matchup against Skalvern because the New England Braviaries, up until this week, didn't have a ground type. So, any Earthquake was just coverage move and wouldn't do much to Bronzong anyway. But as we'll see here, this is a Choice Scarf Superior. Or believed to be a Choice Scarf Superior. I'm actually not sure if it is or not. I didn't do the count. But let's go ahead and take a look at what it does. So you notice here it is at 13%, and it is really powerful. But if it's indeed Choice Scarf, like I believe it is, the only way that Rogue could really beat it is to sack off Mons. an excellent move here with the Hail, being able to take down that Superior, and getting Superior out of the way really opened the way for Tapu Koko and Mew and Abomasnow to finish up the match.
Thunderbolt play there, though.
Well, the Thunderbolt, I think the Thunderbolt was actually the most damage Ro could have done to this Rotom, and it turns out that this Rotom is Choice Scarfed? Modest Scarfed. So the Tapu Koko itself was Scarfed. So I think it was just the best way Ro had to hit the Rotom. And from there, as you can see, well, it's a perfect opportunity to bring in Hawlucha, and Hawlucha could pick up a kill with High Jump Kick, I think, at that range. But Ro ended up winning the match. It was a 1-0 victory. It came down to Mew versus Mega Altaria and Rotom, and Mew outsped Altaria, and then was also able to KO Rotom with Psychics. Second match this week that we got is FADEZ' least favorite. It was his own match. Here we are. As you can see, it's turn 53, and there are two pokes down. There are 2 pokes down. 3. Well, 3. 2 pokes on one side.
I got his Umbreon. I got his Cleric. It took me 7 years, but I got it.
So, this is what happens. Unfortunately, when you play with Scald, you're going to get burned eventually. Scizor, I think it was like 4. It took 4 or 5 Scalds for Melodic to finally burn it. But of course, this Melodic is a super stally version, and it's got Haze. So, it just...
I think, like I said, this week I was fishing for crit on that Milotic because it's when I didn't bring the Scarf back. So the damaging. Look at that! Like that's a banded.
You brought a band. That is a Choice Banded Crobat. Oh
yeah, that is no damage.
Wow.
And that's a base 80 move. It's like no damage.
Yeah, well, it's also not stab.
Brave Bird wouldn't have killed it with the Calc.
Well, it wouldn't have done anything. It probably would. The most you could have done was probably like 30% to this thing, and of course, Scald burns. But
it's just
so.
I think the Haze. I didn't prep for the Haze. What in my mind was okay. Manectric is a counter. If I can't get Manectric in, a couple of swords adds up into Scizor. Hope not for the burn and kill it, and I get hit by that Haze. I miss not getting a crit. And like it's over at this point. I'm being outscored.
So, a couple of things to note about this match. I talked with both coaches tremendously. And so, one of the cool things was, as you can see, Serenite brought an Incineroar. So he actually brought 2 different cleaner type Mons. He's got a Choice Scarf Kyurem Black, which ended up winning the match. And then he's also got an Assault Vest Incineroar that was designed to outspeed a speed creeping Heatran for Melodic, is what it ended up being, and he also speed crept his Claydol for the same. But what they were designed to do was to beat any lead, or tank any hit from any lead, set up Stealth Rocks, and then be able to KO I guess he said it was a max HP Heatran with no special defense investment, be able to one-hit KO it after Stealth Rocks, because it was expert belted. So
at the end of the day, once rocks were up, the only 3 Mons that mattered on his team were Aggron, Umbreon, and Milotic. Because Milotic only really died to my Manectric. Yep. And if I got my Manectric in, Umbreon or Aggron would come in, take a hit, and that was it.
Yeah. But it was like I talked with FADEZ for a little bit about this too, but something that you could have done.
And I should have saved my Manectric, to be fair.
Yeah,
I think,
but Stallbat
way too early.
Stallbat would have been amazing, and I'm gonna critique your use of Guzzlord. I don't know what Guzzlord was supposed to be for.
Guzzlord was Guzzlord had a reason.
But like, Guzzlord is weak. I'm gonna say this right now. PSA, Guzzlord is weak.
He's got bare HP. He's got like 5 billion HP. It's fine. Can't kill him.
Yeah, but he can't do anything in return. He's only got like base 101 and base 97 on the offense.
He's coming next week. Raul, look out for him. He's coming next week.
Okay.
Ready for a speedy Guzzlord. Choice Scarf Guzzlord coming next week.
Alright.
Here first.
Okay, so this is going to be the match of the week. Yes, I know it's my match, but I feel like this is definitely the play of the week. Turn 1, Clefable with Moonblast, and we don't know what the hell else, versus this Hydreigon. Turn 1, and there goes the Clefable due to the Z-Belch Acid Downpour. Better luck next time, buddy. But
to be fair, I don't
next
think we can
turn,
play against that.
no Stealth Rocks this week. Dr. Doofenshmirtz is going to be able to 2-8 KO this Nidoqueen.
That crit was fortunate for him.
Crit didn't matter in the end because Hydreigon actually didn't take any more damage throughout the rest of the match. And then getting a nice 50% off on Suicune sets up Raikou to be able to revenge.
Drance is bringing me the same Suicune every week. He's going Calm Mind, Rest, Sleep Talk, and then Ice Beam or Scald.
Yeah.
So,
unfortunately, he's gotten into too much of a rhythm. I think he needs to change something, because he's got a brilliant team.
Assault their Suicune next week. You heard it here first.
Oh god, that would be terrifying. That would actually be terrifying. Like, Suicune is so good. It doesn't have the greatest offenses, but it just sits there and takes every hit that you want. But
and then we see your MVP go up against it though, and type advantage is just too much.
It took a Choice Specs to be able to take this thing down. Like, you know what? Let's play the next turn. So the next turn, it doesn't even die to a Choice Specs Thunderbolt from Raikou. Yeah. This thing is so stupid.
Even with the special defense, you forget that is stab, so it's effectively a super effective non-stab move.
Yeah.
It's still with the Specs Raikou.
Exactly. Choice Specs base 115 power. Now, granted, I couldn't run Modest this week because Staraptor existed, so I had to run Timid, but I was able to bring a little bit of bulk. Did I? I think he had a base 115 mon. I can't remember. But anyways, Raikou ended up winning the match just by spamming Thunderbolt once Nidoqueen went down. All right. This match is Geno Kirby, the Camden Cryogonals. As you can see, it's also versus me. Unfortunately, Major couldn't make it this week, so we had to do a little bit of like a simulated match. Like, I had a team from Major, and I faced off against Kirby, but because Major didn't make the match, we turned this into a 3-0 forfeit. So as you can see, it's Klinklang versus Garchomp at this point. Klinklang had an air balloon, but it was popped by a Fire Fang after setting up both a substitute and a Swords Dance. So now we're at a shift gear Klinklang versus a Swords Dance Garchomp. And Gear Grind misses.
Gear Grind miss. It's 50%.
Again, it's 85%, and it misses every time. And being able to take down that Klinklang kind of opened the door for a whole bunch of other mons to be able to come in, especially Venusaur, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't even remember if this Venusaur had Hidden Power Fire, even though it's supposed to take on Kartana. And Kartana was designed to take on this Mega Venusaur. As you can see, I foreshadowed it, that Shattered Psyche takes out Venusaur. So what happened for the rest of the match is that Thundurus Incarnate is actually Choice Scarfed to be able to outspeed any Kartana, including a Choice Scarf one. So once Toxapex got whittled down and killed by Garchomp, the Thundurus was able to come in and spam Hidden Power Ice to pick up the win, but it ended up being a 3-0 victory for Geno, just because Major couldn't make the match and he technically had to forfeit.
You can't give a win to someone who doesn't show up.
Exactly. It wouldn't be fair to anybody if he ended up getting the win, despite the fact that he didn't even show up for the match. So that's what ended up happening. Fun things to note, Infernape was all-out pummeling. Mega Venusaur, I think it was just a physically bulky one. So Kartana one-hit KO'd at 80, did 312 out of 364 HP to Venusaur with that Z Psycho Cut. Really powerful one, that thing is scary. So Kartana ended up picking 3 kills in a match, and that's how it has become the #1 Pokemon in the league in terms of the MVP race. Battle Dolphin versus Eternal Lore. More smart prep by Battle Dolphin. This is, if I had to pick, this would definitely be the second best play of the week. As you can see, this Latios is just calm minding its Fizz Def, and it's taking every hit from the the Zygarde until finally Outrage does 50%. But then, because it's fully physically bulky, this max speed, max attack Quillfish is able to come in and kill Latios with the poison jab after it's been weakened. And this is my favorite turn of the match right here. So this is a move that you almost never see in the form of Natural Gift. And I don't remember what berry this is, but this is a grass type Natural Gift. As you can see, it's super effective on the Swampert and is able to one-hit KO at 93%.
One-hit KO without the crit?
Yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest. I didn't do the calc. But let's just say that Natural Gift is... It uses a berry, sure, but it is essentially the physical type hidden power. That is actually scary. So, whenever you're looking at something in draft format, that's a move that could possibly be used against you.
Is it learned by everyone?
No, it's not like hidden power, but it's.
Because if you had Unburden,
I think only like.
Unburden?
I want to say only 25 pokes learn it, and the majority of them are from Gens 1 through 3. Because I think it was a TM in Gen 2 or something.
I think you got it from the battle, like what place the Bass Frontier in Gen 4?
Maybe. I don't know. But it enabled Dolphin to, once Pelipper was 1-hit KO'd, actually Pelipper went down turn 1 to another brilliant play. Z Shockwave, Zygarde 10%, was able to one-hit KO Pelipper, and it was all downhill from there. So, hey, Eternalore, fun fact, don't let your Pelipper die turn 1. Okay, so yeah, that was that match for this week. Let's move on to the next one, which is Garfield versus Etiquette. Right now, we have a Heracross versus Dragonite. So turn 1 was just Jolteon Volt switched into this Dragonite, and Heracross knocked off the Z move, which you can't knock off a Z Crystal from Dragonite, and unfortunately this comes into play.
Very important to note,
right
he's
now.
already using a knockoff on this Dragonite. So he knows it's either a Mega Dragonite or a Z move. And we know it's not a Mega Dragonite because that doesn't exist.
Exactly.
So we know it has a Z Crystal.
Yeah. So unfortunately, this comes into play this turn. So fun fact, this is now a multi-skill Gardevoir. And Dragonite goes for the Earthquake, gets a crit, but Etiquette used Trick on it. And you cannot trick somebody an item if they've already been, Knock Off and Trick fail against Z Crystals. As we can see, it's the Z,
Drake.
it's the
Stand
Dragonium
Devastating
Z.
Drake at 1.5 times attack, it's knocking out anything on his team.
Except for Gardevoir. But Gardevoir is no longer a switch-in.
Yeah, because they're quick kills.
It's just a poor play. I think, what's it called? Extreme Speed killed Gardevoir from there because it was a Choice Specs variant, actually. So, unfortunately, it turns into a 5-0 loss for Etiquette. I think he actually brought the exact same team as the previous week. So, poor Etiquette. Etiquette, you gotta get out of, like, the, you have the same problem as Shape. You're bringing the same Pokemon each and every week. You gotta be careful. Otherwise, it'll be easier to counter team you. Because that's the whole point of team building, is to counter. So you just gotta be careful for that next week. 5-0 victory for Garfield the Lightning. He won with Mega Diancie in the end, after switching out Dragonite versus Torkoal. Baffling Amoeba versus Shape.
Same team every week.
Yeah, so Shape, buddy, you've brought the exact same team since week 1, and we've gone over this before. You gotta stop, man. It's ridiculous. So right now we have a Volcarona that Quiver Danced and got a special attack boost from Fiery Dance on a Ferrothorn, but as you can see, hazards are all up on the field here. And unfortunately, Amoeba, you buddy, you would have killed the thing with a Fiery Dance, but instead you went for Giga Drain, longevity that you didn't really need.
I think a Fire Dance and then Giga Drain and a Sharpedo would have been a better bet.
Yeah,
But
well,
as you can see-
Giga Drain would have KO'd a Sharpedo, and Sharpedo at +1 doesn't outspeed Volcarona at +1.
Also, it's worth a note though, because he left the Landorus alive, the quick attack killed on the base pincer, so you got the Moxie boost, which led to the.
Yeah. So the +1 quick attack here is going to be able to one-hit KO the Sharpedo, whereas if he didn't get the Moxie boost, the quick attack would not have been able to one-hit KO, and Sharpedo would have been able to outspeed and win. So
However,
Mega Pincer.
If I was Meebs and I saw the Sharpedo come in, and I knew I couldn't overcome it, I'd just shoot the protection swords down. So I think Meebs might have, done the calcs already.
So as we can see here, this Metagross ends up being Shuckaberry, but he misses the Meteor Mash, and Cicada is able to just finish off. Yeah. So Cicada finished off the match with an Earthquake and a quick attack on the Mega Lopunny because it didn't have any priority. So Shape, buddy, you gotta bring some priority. You got great priority moves in Bullet Punch Metagross and Fake Out, Quick Attack Lopunny. You gotta be able to use them, man.
Just Lopunny get
Just
Mac Punch.
change your team up every now and again, dude, for real. Alright, so yeah, that's all the matches for this week. Let's go ahead and quick jump into the power rankings. So let's go ahead and start off with, where are you? Here we go. So, sitting at the first place position is the Caledonia Deerling and Coach Garfield. As you can see, he is still 6-0. His team is really stinking good. He's played very safely, I'm gonna say. So he is exploitable. He is playing very safely. He has not really made a lot of predictions, but when you have a team that's as well-rounded as his, you kind of don't need to. He's got a great combination of both bulk and offense, and it's really scary. What do you have to say? Nah.
Well, like I say, I think what he's done is he creates quite an offensive team. So, if you have the Dragonite, if that gets a D-Dance up, that's going to get kills. And there's very little you can do about, especially if it's still gets multi-skill up, a D-Dance Dragonite. And then you've got Yancy, which has got the defensive regular form, and like Mega's got ridiculous attack stats. Miss Magus has got good speed, good attack, good special attack, sorry, not speed attack. A Jirachi has got, Choice Scarf Jirachi with Iron Head. It's got good, decent damage, flinches.
He also
Look
picked
at
up
a lot of attacking options.
He also picked up Sheer Force Tauros this week, so that's something else to note. Another fast mon that hits pretty hard with its coverage moves. But this man is still relatively weak to Stealth Rocks, even though he brought in Rotom Mow a couple weeks ago to be able to counter that. But it's still a team that can be exploited if you play against it correctly. Second place is the Huntsville Heatran. This is my team. I like it. It is very exploitable. It is weak to flying spam. It is weak to fighting spam for the most part. Physical fighting spam does do a number to me. Ground spam is pretty good as well because I have Hydreigon and Virizion as ground resists, and I have Virizion and Hydreigon as water resists. So my team is very weak to straight up power moves, like Scald, like Earthquake, like Brave Bird. Obviously, I have probably the best hazard removal, period. I have one of the best rapid spinners in the form of Fortress. I have fast defog in the form of Swallow and Mega Beedrill. I have bulky defog in the form of Florges. So my hazard removal is really good. I also have very nice rockers in the form of Swampert and Fortress, wow. And nice Spike Setter, Toxic Spike Setter in the form of Fortress as well. So overall, this is a very balanced team, but it does have its weaknesses. As you can see, I'm not very bulky on the physical side. Something to note.
Also, if you bring someone maybe with, ground move and a fairy move, suddenly you're in danger.
Ground move, fairy move, but fairy move is really only threatening if it's a special Moonblast. I'm not really weak to the play rough because Fortress and Swampert is a decent physical tank if you look at it. Yeah, third rank is the Jimboob and Jigglypuffs. This is the team. Very interesting, not very powerful. I mean, it's got a couple of power hitters. It's got a couple of tanky mons. It doesn't have a great team speed, with Zydoge and then Terrakion being its only mons that are faster than 108, but it's not excessively slow either, because its slowest mon outside of Jigglypuff, which dies to any one hit, is Mega Audino at base 50. So it's not very fast, it's not very slow, it's kind of tanky, but not very tanky.
I think what he's done well is played a lot of options people aren't expecting.
Yeah.
Like, is Zygon on 10% the only mon he's brought to all 6 battles?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so he's brought a really good mix of everything, and he's done very well at bringing creative enough sets to keep his opponents off guard.
I think what that gives advantage to him as well is a lot of people here are speedrunners, and we haven't necessarily played a lot of Generation 7. For instance, I still haven't finished the games. This is my first experience in the Gen 7 metagame. So, for instance, no disrespect to Eternal, I lost my battle with him because he had one of the Tapus.
We'll get to your team. Hold on. You're a few positions away. We'll get to you.
It's not my team. And I didn't understand how Tapu Fini worked. I didn't know its typing, its stats, and I think maybe his Zygon 10% here comes into play a lot here because it's new. People associate with Zygon, even though it's different. It's uses different sets. I think that's like giving him a strong move here because he's got 4 kills.
Yeah. That's something to note. He's very creative so far. Like last week, he had the Psych Up Porygon 2 to beat Suicune. So just something to keep in mind. He's very creative. Next is going to be the Braylons coach, Ro. This is a really fun team to look at. Really offensive. Very, very offensive. Got a nice mix of bulk involved as well, especially with his additions, mid-season additions with Donphan and Chestnut, which really turned his season around, as you can see that 4 win streak. Finishing it up with that recent, very narrow 1-0 victory over the New England Braviary. The reason why he's ranked 4th is mainly because, again, quality of opponents, same thing as last week, and momentum. He's just got a ton of momentum going forward right now. He's playing really well. He's bringing the right sets. Mega Abomasnow has been a very interesting surprise, being brought to 2 of these more recent wins versus me and versus Skal, Vern, picking up a few kills along the way. Anything to note for you?
I like the Mega Abomasnow because what you've got to know is he got an extra 20 points. Am I correct?
30. Yeah, he got an extra 30, which enabled him to pick up Volcanion and Mew.
Yeah. And Volcanion and Mew have been crucial to him. And Mega Abomasnow hasn't been a weak link. It's got a lot of output damage. It's got somewhat decent typing. I mean, Fire's not great against it, of course. Fire, Steel, which is correct.
Yeah, and it's been
it's a trick room use. It becomes the fastest thing on the field with a lot of damage. Blizzard is a guaranteed hit because it's hail.
Yep.
So it gives a lot of options.
And it's something that you really need to prep for, which is something going at the end of the draft. I thought that Mega Abomasnow was a mistake, but he's been using it, and this is a quote from him. He's like, "I like pretending Mega Abomasnow is a Tapu Bulu," even though it's like the opposite. But he uses it as the Earthquake Sponge. And of course, as you can see, Volcanion has come to every winning match. So Volcanion's played a huge role with its type coverage. It's really offensive mon. It's an excellent wall breaker. So that's something that you really need to be careful when you're facing a team like that. 5th on the list is going to be the Camden Cryogonals and coach Geno. Yeah, as you can see, his team has basically revolved around Kartana and Zygarde 50%. He actually did.
Zygarde 50% is base Zygarde, right?
Yeah. Is regular Zygarde. So, as you can see, he has a lot of mons that haven't been brought yet. He actually made 3 free agent swaps this week. So he picked up the Tapu Bulu, the Sawsbuck, and the Feraligatr. He dropped, was it Gengar, Delmise, and Stakataka? Yes. In preparation for getting these 3 mons. So now Tapu Bulu takes care of Mega Camerupt's weaknesses really stinking well, so be careful. Camerupt is now no longer weak to Earthquake because Tapu Bulu is here, and it also gets some recovery, so watch out for Camerupt. They make a brilliant core. And of course, Kartana is now getting boosted grass moves thanks to the grassy terrain. Zygarde 50% and its 1,000 arrows are not even going to be affected by the grassy terrain, so be very careful with this team going forward. I think it looks a lot better on paper now with the Tapu Bulu. And Feraligatr is an underrated threat as well. Swords Dance, Aqua Jet, Liquidation, Dragon Dance, Sheer Force boosted Liquidation, keep that in mind. Sheer Force boosted Ice Punch. Superpower is an awesome move that it gets, even though it's not boosted by Sheer Force. But Feraligatr is just a terrifying mon if used correctly, so be careful with it now. Do you have anything you wish to add?
I hate Tapus, all of them.
Yeah, you better learn up on how to Tapu Bulu here, buddy, because that's coming up here next week. Not this week, but the following week. So be careful.
Well, I mean, Rao has Tapu Koko now. Oh no, sorry, that's not.
Yeah, Ro has Koko. Ro is Koko.
I've got 2 Tapus in a row. No pun intended.
Well, yeah, you do. So yeah, let's actually go ahead and talk about your team. What do you like about it?
Nothing. It's awful. It's weak to everything. It sucks. I hate it.
So this is what you get. It is a very threatening team. If used correctly. It has Manectric, Scizor, Landorus, Crobat, not Tangrowth, but Whimsicott. All of them get either U-turn or Volt Switch. Your team thrives on being able to take all of its immunities and resistances, especially resistances and weakness to each other's own weaknesses, resistance, etc. Being able to Volt Switch around and U-turn around and just keep up momentum, forcing the opponent to switch out, which fortunately for your opponents, but unfortunately for you, you have not taken advantage of very well at all.
It's too predictable. I'm bringing this week for the record. I'm bringing Tangrowth, Heatran, and Whimsicott, and I'm bringing Sunny Day as well. I'm going to get the sweet Solar Beam. Going to get a Chlorophyll. There's no idea the potential.
It's a fun fact. This is going to be posted next Monday, so it doesn't matter if you spoil it. You don't even bother spoiling your team, because we'll have already known. So
just look at those average base stats then.
Yeah, but those don't tell the entire story. I mean, you have a Slowbro and a Tangrowth, both of which are very important tanks with Regenerator. You have the Regenerator core, you have the Volt Turn cores, you have Klefki, which is an interesting support Pokemon. You've got such power in the form of Landorus, in the form of Mega Scizor, in the form of Heatran, in the form of Manectric. That thing is so stinking powerful, and it gets amazing moves, and it's so good.
Everything.
Shut up! It's one of my favorite Pokemon.
I know. I love it. In the last draft, I had Mega Manectric.
Oh yeah, that's right, you did.
The issue I have is,
and I had Heatran, and you know I love Heatran. So you stole it from me.
I picked Heatran because I knew it was your next pick.
It actually wasn't my pick. It wasn't on my list of things to grab ever. I'm not gonna lie.
It's a good pick either way. So.
No. So yeah, that is Fade's team. As you can see, he gets the nice, beautiful win-loss.
It's going on this week. I'm sorry, but the Brawl and Braylons, Val, you gotta lose. Like, I wish I could let you win, but it would ruin the beautiful pattern.
Alright, so here's Coach Scalvern, and Scalvern actually did a little bit of maneuvering around himself this week. So he, as picking up for Missile Stick's team, we let him have an extra free agent pick alongside his 3 other picks, just so that he could,
rebuild.
Yeah, build a team that better suits him. So he ended up grabbing Celesteela, Rotom Heat, Murkrow, and Diggersby, and he dropped, what was it? Silvally, Ditto, Salamence, and Tier 2. What was Tier 2? I forget what it was. So whatever his Tier 2 pick was.
Tentacle, was it?
No. Tentacle's Tier 3. Shoot.
You can check.
Yeah, I don't even remember what it was.
You just check. I can't check because my Chrome's... No.
Yeah, I can't check because I have too many windows open. But anyways...
Okay, I'll try and get
it's
to
a new look
Discord
team.
Messing, obviously.
It's a new look team. He lost to Rowe in his season debut. Although it was a 1, it was a very nice, very close match. He seems to be, no offense to you, Buddy Mizzle, but he seems a much better battler and prep guy than you. But I like this team. I like this team. It's very flying dependent. It doesn't have the greatest of overall spreads in stats, but he's got really decent mons when it comes to offense and defense. And especially, this is a very offensive team. Oh, Shuckle.
Shuckle, I think Shuckle...
Shuckle, Silvally,
well,
Ditto, and Salamence. So...
Although we saw Salamence dropped after getting HB Ice.
Yeah.
That's the biggest issue with a lot of things. This format is people planning on HP, because in say like OU or any normal battling moment, you expect HP Ice, something like that, something that counters the Landorus T. It's maybe an HP ground here or there, but rarely could you have Earthquake. But with these, you can predict. So people will be bringing HP ground and HP fire against me to counter my 2 mains, and HP Ice was brought obviously here to get rid of Superior, Altaria, and Diggersby. Who else? Who did it kill? And Salamence as well. But Salamence of course can drop now.
Yeah, so it's like coverage moves are really important in draft format. So being able to have a good spread. Oh, Celebi. That's what it was. Celebi. So he drops Celebi, Silvally, Shuckle, and Salamence. And he picks up Celesteela, Rotom, Heat, Murkrow, and Diggersby. So a new loop team, a little more balanced. I don't like the Murkrow pick. I'm not a big fan of Murkrow. Prankster Murkrow, sure, but I mean, in the end, Murkrow is worse than Sableye. I like Sableye a lot more, especially because of its defensive potential. And Will-O-Wisp. Prankster Will-O-Wisp.
A lot of people forget that Sableye had no weaknesses until Fairy was introduced.
Yeah, and Murkrow still has that Fairy weakness, but now it's also weak to Ice and Electric. And Murkrow does have a little bit of speed, but it has no bulk. It doesn't really take advantage of that Prankster ability. Like, even Whimsicott has a tiny bit of bulk with its Prankster. Even Cottony has a little bit of bulk to go along with its prank. Never mind.
We haven't seen a Mega Sableye, have we?
No, nobody has Mega Sableye.
Looks like good.
I think it's banned. Was it banned?
Oh, it might be banned.
I have to double check on that. I can't remember. Because I know in some leagues, Mega Sableye is banned.
I remember it was at the end of Gen 6, it was suspect tested at OU, but that's the last I heard of it because I kept up with Gen 7.
So the 7th rank is the New England... No, whoa. Number 8, what the heck? Yeah, I went to the right page, but... Number 8 is the Blackpool Blastoise. Coach Draws. Buddy, take a look. You've brought a grand total of 7 different Pokemon to 6 matches. You gotta get some variety in there. You've got great Pokemon. You still haven't brought Shaman. I love Shaman. It is an amazing wall breaker, an amazing revenge killer, an amazing support Pokemon. It is a jack of all trades. Bring it, men! And it also helps build a Fire, Water, Grass core with that Charizard X, Suicune, and Shaman. Shaman being able to provide extra support for both with Leech Seed. It gets Healing Wish. It gets excellent coverage moves. Bring it, man. Alolan Muck is really nice. You've brought it a few times, but I don't think you brought it to its fullest potential. You haven't brought a Z move this entire season. Gallade has amazing coverage, fighting, Leaf Blade, Psycho Cut, Knockoff, I want to say Poison Jab, Shadow Sneak. It's an awesome
Sucker
offensive
Punch?
threat. No Sucker Punch. You get Shadow Sneak for
What,
priority.
what happens to Z move Sucker Punch?
No priority. Any priority move slapped with Z doesn't have priority.
Dark type.
Yeah.
Z move.
But Lycanroc. Lycanroc could be an interesting pick if you bring it. It could be an interesting anti-lead with stuff like, I think it gets Taunt, Stealth Rocks, Sucker Punch. It gets Sucker Punch, even though it's not a Dark type, but it gets Sucker Punch. Counter. Just really interesting Pokemon that you haven't even brought yet. Ambipom could be very cool if you brought it into a match. It's a great disruptor and a momentum user, and it's also your fastest Pokemon. So by not using every mon on your team, you're not being able to take advantage of everyone's own strengths and weaknesses. And I feel like that's something you got to get better at, man. And that's why your rank's so low, is because all of a sudden you're being found out, and good prep is going to beat your team every week. Unless you change some stuff up. The 9th rank is going to be the Bludgeoners, the Rain team. Rain is very, very threatening. You got to be very careful of it every time you face it. Pelipper is the #1 priority for you, though. You need to make sure that you keep it alive. Other than that, you've got brilliant sweepers. You got Mega Swampert and Kingdra that really take advantage of the Rain. And you dropped. Yeah, but he dropped Kabutops this week, which I'm very disappointed in.
Kabutops got a kill on me, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
Aquajet, it's a good revenge kill.
Kabutops is an awesome revenge option. Swords Dance, Stone Edge. I liked it being your Z user. Better than Alolan Raichu. And you lose out on that extra Rain Sweeper. But again, it doesn't make a daggum difference if you can't keep your Pelipper alive. Also, Tapu Fini being able to kind of break through stall cores is very useful because its Misty Surge prevents status. So you got a very nice team, but I feel like you're not using it to the greatest of its abilities. So it's something that you need to keep in mind for the coming weeks if you want to make playoffs. 10th place, we're going to go ahead and move over to the stall team to beat all stall teams. That is the Kentucky Fried Crawdon. As you can see, almost as many passive kills as direct kills. The bane of Fade's existence. Really, really good core. It gets Melodic, Umbreon, Amoonguss, Incineroar, Claydol, Mega Aggron, Togekiss that are bulky. Offensive threats like Kyurem Black and Alakazam and Lucario. Just really, really solid team in terms of very bulky. But it doesn't have a whole lot of speed element. But when you have the bulk element that he has, you can make it work. And yes,
thing is, though, you look at some teams and you see like, okay, that mon's just filler, maybe for some surprise one week. Like we saw the Miracle earlier. It's like, is that really going to do anything? Not really. It might have a lucky prankster. That's it. But this team, every single mon there you can bring. Every single mon can do something.
Yeah. I think if I were to pick out a filler mon, the only mon that I would see as filler is maybe that Sigilyph. That Sigilyph is kind of niche.
If you bring Carmine Sigilyph,
yeah,
that can do something.
He tried bringing it one week, but it got 2-hit KO'd by a Sharpedo because he didn't play it well.
Well, physical defense, Carmine doesn't really do much to stop that.
Well, he was all defense. He was like max HP and like 156 defense IVs. It was a really cool set, but it just didn't really work versus Shape.
Execution was poor.
But this team is designed to outlast the opponent, and it's really, really scary once he gets it going. He gets a Wish in the form of Togekiss and Umbreon, so passing base 95 HP with Wishes is really threatening. It's just stupid bulky and really annoying to play against. And luckily I don't have to face him for another few weeks, but unfortunately that also means he's going to get more experience which, as you can see, he's starting to build a little more momentum, making matches a little bit closer. So
He's stalling me to death.
Yeah, 11th place.
I'm not bitter.
11th place is the exact opposite. We have Manabug. The Manabug team is moving up in the rankings.
With 2 wins on a 2-win streak. Repeat, Meads has won 2 games in a row. You know what he's bringing. You know what type he's bringing. Stealth Rocks destroys his team, and he has still managed to secure 2 wins in a row. That is a sign of someone who can actually make good plays.
Yeah, he's played extremely well. There's no doubt about that. Not Mega Evolving his Pinsir so that he could pick up the Moxie boost this week was a really good sign of that. Just a really threatening offensive team. 4 Sticky Webs users. 4 Sticky Webs users. You cannot underestimate the speed control that is Sticky Webs. And he's got a very nice team to work around it. He's got a couple of interesting Bulkmons, and then of course he's got a couple of threatening special sweepers in the forms of Volcarona and Venomoth, or even Galvantula for that matter. Galvantula is underrated in power, especially because of its a 92% accurate Thunderbolts with the compound eyes. Just Manabug is threatening. Manabug is threatening. Dude is scary.
You mean Thunder, right? Not Thunderbolt.
Did I say Thunderbolt? You know what I mean.
Yeah,
Thunder.
Reducing the accuracy of Thunderbolt is not a great penalty.
Yeah. So it's like, you gotta be very careful around this team. I mean, obviously he's weak to fire, flying, rock coverage, but if you catch him, if you let him get ahead of you, you will pay for it. Because Mega Pinsir is one of the scariest Pokemon in the format, and Volcarona is just a scary mon overall because it gets good coverage moves alongside the Quiver Dance, and it's really fast, so you gotta be careful. Also, Scolipede. Underrated. Bane of my existence. I hate it. I hate it. When I faced it, I counter-teamed the ever-loving crap out of that Scolipede just so that I could beat it. It's terrifying. Okay. We're getting down to the bare bones of it. 3 more coaches to go. The Auckland Adaptability. Guys, this is a good team on paper, man. You just kind of dropping off the table. You got a great mix of bulk and power. Sure, you don't have the greatest team speed, but you can make up for it. You have very nice Pokemon, and I really want to see you bring it around, Major. I want to see you get some more wins, man. But at the same time, you also kind of gotta actually put in the work and prepare for matches. Not much to talk about here. He didn't change his team at all. Garchomp picked up a couple more kills this week. Yeah, so it's Major's team. You gotta work on it, man. You gotta work with us, buddy. Not much to talk about Shape because we already went over his team when we did his match. Just very interesting, but you haven't put in a lot of effort. You could make it work. You got great team speed, you got great power, you've got decent bulk behind it. You've got probably, in terms of stats, you've got one of the more balanced teams out there, but your type coverage is very weak, and your prep has been even weaker. And that's why you're sitting down here, second from the bottom. And the main reason for that is because etiquette down at the bottom of the barrel, you keep trying to bring everything, but you don't succeed. What? Has he brought Tyranitar? Yeah, he's brought Tyranitar.
3 times.
Yeah, 3 times. So you brought a great mix of Pokemon, but you haven't brought them to the greatest of their ability. Mega Heracross! Use the Skill Link ability. It gets Rock Blast, it gets Bullet Seed, it gets Pin Missile. Use it to the greatest of its ability. That is the whole point of Skill Link. You could have had that Dragonite, man! I wanted to see that. That Rock Blast, one-hit KO
Yeah.
Dragonite. Because that would have one-hit KO Dragonite. He couldn't set up. It breaks multi-scale and destroys. Not to mention you already had multi-scale broken with knockoff. But you gotta use these mons to the best of their abilities, man. You don't have a great team speed other than Talonflame, so you gotta really be careful with that. But Haxorus, Haxorus is your best friend because of its prowess, and then Shiftry Torkoal make it for a great combination. And unfortunately, you just haven't been able to take advantage of that. You need to be a little bit better about picking off your opponent's mons that counter and work towards an end goal. That's the whole point of competitive Pokemon, is you have to have a team plan, and you need to work towards this team plan in order to make it work. Any other thoughts for you, buddy?
I think his Cresselia. I think bringing that could do a lot more for him. You've not seen enough of it, definitely not.
Yeah, especially because you don't have the greatest... I mean, you have Skarmory as a ground resist, but having Cress there, Cress and Skarm, there's a reason why they used to be called the Skarm Bliss Cress combo. They're just so good at walling out opponents. So you could even bring a Stalkor element if you wanted to, and that would help set up for stuff like Haxorus, stuff like Shiftry Torkoal to really work in the end game. Is if you break down opponents. Stall might end up being your friend at the end of the year if you can put it all together. But just be really careful about falling into the trap of bringing the same mons every week if you want to win. So yeah, that's it for this week. Thank you all for watching. Here we are approaching the 1 hour recording mark. This went a lot longer than I expected. There was a lot of stuff that I wanted to go over.
Free entertainment via YouTube channel with my beautiful voice.
He's got a beautiful voice. So yeah, just whatever you do, don't actually watch his videos. He has some of the worst audio quality ever.
How dare you?
But he is one of the best shiny Lux that I have ever seen in Pokemon Emerald. He's a really fun guy. Thanks for
I
thanks
might
for
be
being
actually
in this.
making some real content soon, so make sure to
There you
smash that
go.
subscribe button.
Yep. So RXFADEZ, everybody. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you next week. Actually tomorrow with my next match in Team Builder. What?
I said au revoir because my team's French.
You're terrifying.
Name.